NFL draft is 100% predetermined by Gematria. Let's get into day 2 of the NFL draft, beginning with Deshaun Stribling. In Gematria, the practice of coding letters and words into numbers, it is Dejan that got drafted by the Niners. They both have Gematria of 79 and 34. Stribling is Gematria 47. Now, the 49ers are trying to make it back to the Super Bowl. Their last appearance in the Super Bowl was over at Nevada. So, Deshaun Stribling to the Niners. Deshaun. That's the Gematria breakdown of that pick. Chase Bisontis, offensive tackle, offensive guard to the Cardinals. Chase is Gematria 36. It is Cardinals. That's Gematria 36. Now, Arizona equals 27. A is 26. And Z is 26. So he's now playing with Arizona. Bisontis is Gematria 35. He is a Cardinal. Cardinal is Gematria 35. The first draft pick for the Buffalo Bills, T.J. Parker from Clemson. T.J. Parker's Gematria of 117 and 54. Buffalo Bills equals 117. Now, I like the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl. It's Inglewood, California that equals 54. And Bills has Gematria 54. And it is the Bills that has Gematria Parker. Their first round draft pick is Parker. They can make it to their first Super Bowl in 33 years. 33 years after Super Bowl 28. He was full of emotion on the TV. Caden McDonald to the Texans. McDonald is Gematria of Houston Texans. They both equal 66. And the Houston Texans equal 66. McDonald, another defensive addition to the Houston Texans. Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee, to the Giants. Hood is Gematria of New York City. Colton is Gematria of 25. He's with the Giants. Colton is Gematria of the New York Giants. Traden Stokes to the Raiders. Now, AG in the periodic tables. Silver is the 47th element in the periodic table, and like we saw below, Nevada is Gematria 47. He is now playing at the state of Nevada. Denzel Boston really didn't have much Gematria computation. So this moves us to R. Mason Thomas, edge rusher to the Kansas City Chiefs. Thomas, 32. Is Gematria of Chiefs. Their last Super Bowl appearance, they won the Super Bowl at Las Vegas. Las Vegas equals 86. So some of these draft picks, their Gematria syncs up with their team's last Super Bowl title, their last Super Bowl appearance. Now, R. Mason is Gematria of 37 in 82. Philly's Gematria of 82 and 37. The city of New Orleans equals 82. The main thing I wanted to note was that R. Mason 37's Gematria of Kansas City Chiefs. Howell to the Bengals. Cassius Howell. It is Howell, that's Gematria of Cincinnati Bengals. Christian Miller was drafted right after the Bengals made their draft pick. That's how we look at that. Not really much New Orleans Saints Gematria popping up right away. Jacob Rodriguez to the Miami Dolphins from Texas Tech. Jacob Rodriguez is Gematria of 73. The Dolphins had the only perfect season in 1972-1973. Rodriguez is playing his home games at the city of Miami. Derek Moore to the Detroit Lions, edge rusher from Michigan, playing hometown. Moore, Gematria of 69 and 24 equals the Gematria of Lions. Zion Young to Baltimore. Now, not much Gematria pops up with Zion Woods. Now, the Baltimore Ravens are the old Cleveland Browns, and the old Cleveland Browns won their last championship in 1964, and Zion is technically playing for the old Browns. And now in Gematria, I didn't type it in, Browns is Gematria 28, so it's that connection. Remember, the old Browns, they kept their players. They moved over to Baltimore, so that's the continuation of the old Cleveland franchise. Josiah Trotter, linebacker to the Bucks. Josiah Trotter is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Josiah equals 62. Tampa Bay Buccaneers equals 62. Josiah equals 37. Buccaneers also equals 37. Buccaneers also equals Josiah. Jeremy Bernard. Bernard is Gematria 46 in Gematria. It is the Steelers that has Gematria 46. He is now a part of the Steelers, Mr. Bernard. Not much Gematria popped up with Avion Terrell, cornerback from Clemson. The main thing to note with him is that the Falcons lost their first Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl 33. They've been trying to win one ever since that time. Of course, they didn't win Super Bowl 51. They choked. So that's what I want to note with him. Lee Hunter to the Panthers. Now, the only thing that resonated well with him is, Panthers trying to make it back to the Super Bowl since they had Cam Newton, and his Gematria tends to equal the Gematria of Cam Newton, so that's what I observed with that. D'Angelo Pons, Indiana cornerback to the New York Jets. D'Angelo Pons equals 54, Jets is 54, go figure. Jake Goldade, Cincinnati linebackers, now with the Vikings. Now, I want you to see something right here. Cincinnati does equal 51, and a kid from Cincinnati was selected with the 51st pick. So this is another element of Gematria that we must observe when we see some of these player selections cast. Does Christian equal 42? Yeah, Christian equals 42. He was selected with the 42nd pick right here. So that's another part of the breakdown that we must observe. Brandon Seiss, Jake Goldade to the Vikings, same exact Gematria as Vikings. So Brandon Seiss, he has played his games at Lambeau. Seiss, his Gematria of Lambeau. Now, did I notice something else too? No, I don't think so. But the 52nd pick in the draft, the Green Bay Packers is Gematria 52. They were selecting number 52. Colts had pick number 53 in Lucas Oil Stadium's Gematria 53, and long and behold, they have the 52nd pick. Ravens selected 45, and Lamar is Gematria 45. How about pick number 33? Niner without the S equals 33. "35 previous picks before Houston. The Texans is Gematria 35. So it's not all about the player name. 38th pick in the draft, perfect example. Raiders is Gematria 38. So Zion Young, all these men, moving on. C.J. Allen, the only thing I observed is Gematria is the same as the face of the franchise, Jonathan Taylor. Uh, Elijah Stowers is Gematria, Philadelphia. Now that's where they had 56 signees to the Declaration of Independence. Elijah's 45. The Eagles last won the Super Bowl at New Orleans. 23rd draft pick, Gabe Jackas, Patriots. Gabe is 15. The Patriots' last Super Bowl victory was at Atlanta. And now Seattle's Gematria 7, and I thought I entered it there in the calculator. Jackas is Gematria 7. Of course, the Patriots are trying to win their 7th Super Bowl, and they just lost the Super Bowl to Seattle. Nate Borkircher to the Jaguars. Nate is Gematria of Jaguars. Logan Jones to the Bears. Logan's Gematria 23. The Bears' last Super Bowl appearance was in their last Super Bowl victory was in 1986. Now Jones is Gematria Bears. He's playing for the Bears. Go figure. Marlon Klein to the Texans. It's Marlon, that's Gematria of Houston. Now Klein is Gematria 51, and Houston Texans also equals 51. Anthony Hill Jr. on the Titans. Hill Jr. is 39. Tennessee and abbreviations equals 39. Max Clare to the LA Rams. Max Clare is 50. He plays his home games at Inglewood. Clare is Gematria 34. The LA Rams equals 34. Davison Igbinosun to the Bills. Igbinosun is Gematria of 52. I like the Bills to play the Los Angeles Chargers. Davison is Gematria of the Rams. All right, yeah, I like the Bills to play the Super Bowl at the Rams Stadium. That's the whole premise of all of this Gematria right here. Jake Slaughter, now Jake equals 81, and the franchise did start out at San Diego, so he's with the original San Diego Chargers. Slaughter is now with Coach Harbaugh. They both equal 39. Bud Clark to Seattle. Bud Clark has Gematria Buffalo. I like a Buffalo Seattle Super Bowl. Clark is Gematria of 45. Buffalo Bills equals 45. The Super Bowl is on the 45th day of the year. The Seahawks are trying to repeat. So this is the breakdown of day 32. I'm not going to get into the third round so much. I'm going to end this with pick number 1 in the third round, Carson Beck to the Cardinals. Carson Palmer was the last good quarterback, and Carson Beck is trying to be the next one. Kyler Murray doesn't really count. Carson Beck is 62, and he is a Cardinal. Beck is Gematria of 87. He's playing at Glendale, Arizona in abbreviations. Playing for the franchise that started out at Chicago. Gematria breakdown of day 2 of the NFL draft. Every single pick is predetermined by the numbers. It is a way of mocking the fans, scripting, behind the scenes, invisible to the public. That's where Gematria comes into play.